Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting edition of CLX Foundry Live, where we dive deep inside of a customer's build and then we assemble it from the ground up. I'm your host, DJ Blue PDX, and of course, today we've got our lead technical expert and today's master builder back from his adventures in Alaska. It is Paul Steffens. So, Paul, I understand you went up there to wrestle polar bears?
Yep, we wrestled them really good.
All right, did you at least pet them behind their big fuzzy ears?
That's how I calmed them down, yep. That's how you get the tap out.
Awesome. Just please note, people, do not pet a wild polar bear. Just saying. So, we've got a fun project today. Zach is out on his honeymoon because he got married. So, we're very happy and excited for them to have a relaxing time off. So, one of the things that everybody wants to know about is, hey, where can we find our information about giveaways? Well, you can find it by typing exclamation giveaway in the chat right now, and you can check it out as a brand new amazing case with our friends over at Anthros. We've got this huge, beautifully designed case. Our friends at Beacon, and of course, you get a chair with it, a Beacon mix crate, a Beacon mic, and this wildly awesome AMD based PC. And you can do that by typing exclamation giveaway and following the links. Now, here's the fun part, is that we also have a thing called codes. What are codes? Well, codes are things that you can enter into the giveaway space that'll actually give you the opportunity to get extra entries. Extra entries mean a better opportunity. Now, those entries are given out on Tuesdays, like today, on the green side. That's kick.com/CLXgaming. On Thursdays, it's given out on the purple side, which is twitch.tv/CLXgamingtv. Although, just to note, because of the federal holiday and 4th of July, we won't be having the show on Thursdays. Just be prepared. But I probably will. The other place you can find it is in our social media, and that is YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at CLX Gaming. You could also possibly find a code inside of our Discord at discord.gg/CLX Gaming. You can also find them on my streams, in which I'm going to be giving out all the rest of my codes over the next several days. So, with that being said, we have a fun day ahead of us. So we've got a project for our friend Yuchi in Texas, and it's something that we don't usually build on the stream, which is really fun because we haven't really had a chance to work with small form factor designs. So Paul, walk us through what this is and what we're going to be putting inside of it.
Yeah, so Yuchi has configured one of our sets off our website. So starting out with our processor, we've got the AMD Ryzen 7 5700X. To cool that, we've got a CLX Quench 120 AIO. And for our motherboard, we've got an ASRock A520M AC, so it's got the onboard Wi-Fi. And for our memory, we have 2 sticks of Patriot 8GB 3200 in black, so DDR4 here. And then for our storage, we've got 2 different drives. For our main drive, we've got a Patriot 512GB P300 NVMe M.2 drive. You can see it at the bottom of the screen there. And then as a secondary storage drive, we've got a 2TB Seagate Barracuda. For our video card for this build, we've got a Power Color 6650 XT, probably a first time for the show, so excited to get that one out. For our case, we have our Karnak Micro, and for our power supply, we have the Game DS 600 watt Kratos M1 80 plus bronze with RGB.
Gotcha. And this is the ASRock A520 MAC, right?
Correct. Yep.
Got it. Okay. Looking for it on the builder. I didn't see it. All right. So now, when it comes to the different sizes of PCs, you've obviously seen us. We've done a lot of our Leon Lees and a lot of our MV5s and MV7s, which are, medium and large. This constitutes as an IGX, correct?
This is actually an MATX. It still is pretty small, though. It looks like an ITX almost.
So what's the big difference between the two?
So an MATX is the smaller version of ATX, so this size right here, and an ITX would be even smaller than this.
Got it. Which is hard to believe there's anything smaller than this, but
right.
Those are the ones that look like they're like just half of that height, and it's all tightly packed in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is still, like you said, it's still a small build, still a small form factor. So we're going to get everything going outside of the case like we usually do. I'll get this motherboard ready, DJ.
Okay.
And
now, while he's doing that, everybody please, wow, that is tiny.
Look at this little guy.
Just know that if you hear or see something that you're not understanding in here, please let us know, because it would be our pleasure to help answer those questions for you and ensure that you understand what is going on, just in case we say something wild that sounds normal to us but may not sound normal to you. So let's start off with our ASRock A520 MAC, and this is a very basic board, but it does the job, and look at how tiny that is comparatively. Let's take a look at that IO shield real fast. We've got our two antenna ports obviously up at the very top, your PS2 mouse keyboard port for any type of legacy devices. I don't know what legacy was, but legacy is what I was trying to say. You've got your HDMI port, and then we've got two USB 2 ports up top, four USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports. You've got your RJ45 and then your 3 audio jacks. Now, so a lot of boards that you see us use actually have a heat shield or a heatsink, and so that IO shield sometimes comes pre-installed. With this one, it doesn't. As you can see to the right, that's what is right there that I was expecting you to actually cut that box open with.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah.
But yes, there we go. Welcome in, Kaizo Clips. Oh, good to have you here. We've got Olmec in the house, Fabi, Kenneth, G-Code, Queso Goblin over on the purple side. We've got Wiz. What up, Wiz? Tom Udall. Hi. What's up, man? We haven't seen you in a minute. Okay, so let's start with our processor, because this is going to be a really fun processor. This is actually a AMD Ryzen 7 5700X. Paul, what can you tell me about this processor?
Yes, this is an 8-core, 16-thread processor. It's got a base speed of 3.4, and it will boost up to 4.6. So a really solid processor here.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, mini builds are always kind of fun. Always kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of wild how small the build can be, but it can still be really powerful.
Prime Rez over on Twitter asks, can I get a free PC? I need one really bad. I feel like there's a lot of people in that position. So if you enter the giveaway, you have a much better chance of winning a free PC. There we go. Yeah, cable management is a pain in the in tiny builds. So, but Paul's going to walk us through how big of a difference is it when you're in these smaller builds? We don't really do a whole lot of smaller builds here.
Yeah, so it is, for cable management, it is quite a bit different. For everything else, it kind of goes together all the same, but cable management is where it gets tight. Obviously, we have a smaller case box, so that's smaller room for extra cables and any cable management. So it can get pretty tight in there.
So we got a good question coming in from Kaizo Clips over here on the green side. It says, a friend of mine is looking to upgrade their GPU to play and record Call of Duty at 144 FPS without being bottlenecked by their current setup. They have an AMD Ryzen 7 2700X, which is an 8-core processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a CX750 power. Okay, the power supply is not really big on it, but it's a 750 power supply, and they're currently running a 2060. Which GPU would you recommend for them? Ooh, with it a 7 2700X, Paul?
Yeah, so that's a decent processor still. It was higher end, obviously back in the day. With the 2060, I'd look at going up to a 4060 with that. I think you could do that without bottlenecking your CPU there, maybe even a 4060 Ti. So that's where I would start.
Here we go. 4060 Ti is the answer to your question. Danny Gatto. Hello. Uber Noob. Hiya. What's going on, buddy? Right, so now what I want to point out right now, also we got Vortex saying hello over on the TikTok side. Hello, my friend. So what we see you doing now is a little bit different than the way that we do it on larger boards. Why is that? Because what we're going to be doing is putting in the brackets, the mounting brackets for the AIO.
Yeah, so with this AIO, it's a little bit different. I actually haven't done a bracket like this. So what this is we're using the backplate of the motherboard that comes on it, and then we took off the clips, and then we're using the same screws to install these. And what these are is a post for our AIO. So once I get this one in, we'll put our AIO on, and then screws that go over top here. So still pretty easy to install, just a little bit different.
Gotcha. Interesting.
All right, so we got that there. We got thermal paste on our AIO plate, and this will just slide on.
As for our AIO, this is going to be a CLX Quench 120. Now, this is the small square form factor. Now, in my previous gaming build, before I got smart and went with CLX, I had a 120 push-pull on an i9-9900K, which was completely ineffective and inappropriate. So what's the big difference between a 120 and other options? Can you tell us why the numbers are what they are?
Yeah, so that refers to the size of the radiator. So right here you can see it's a smaller radiator than what we usually use because this is a 120. So this can fit one 120 mil fan on it. You can put one on either side. If you really want to go crazy, you can put them on both.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I saw that. Okay. Now we're going to get this all locked in here. Now with the liquid cooler, that is, it's all self-contained. You don't have to do anything with it as far as the maintenance is concerned, which a lot of people are always a little bit hesitant, like, oh God, what if it leaks? Well, they're self-enclosed and they're all there. But there are other ways of cooling your system. What are those?
Yeah, so like I said, this is liquid cooling. You can do air cooling as well, and typically that's a block of metal, typically cut into fins, and then a fan incorporated in that as well that blows the heat away. So the AIOs have become really common. I really like them. They're easy to install and provide great cooling, but if you want to go with air cooling, there's a lot of good third-party options out there that do work really well.
Good question coming in from Wiz over on the purple side. Wiz asks, are there fans that are better than others performance-wise?
Yeah, there definitely are. So there's a whole, there's probably millions of different types of fans out there, but there are some that are better than others. Honestly, you can pretty much see that with the price. Some that throw things. Yeah. Yeah, throw some tomatoes at you.
Sorry. Right. Keep going.
No. So yeah, there is a difference, and you'll notice it in the price of those fans. Now, a lot of fans have RGB now, so that's obviously pretty common. But then there's some fans that don't have any RGB that perform great. So
yeah, well, everybody lives under the impression that RGB does give you extra XP. Right. It's not necessarily true. I'll tell you what also is not necessarily true is the fact that there are some drives that work better than others, because that's absolutely accurate. And let's talk about what we've got going in here for our storage. It's a 512 gigabyte Patriot P300M.2 NVMe. Now, these plug directly into the motherboard, and does that mean that they work faster?
Yeah, so these are an NVMe, which is faster than SATA. So they do plug directly into the motherboard like this here. This is going to be a really fast drive. We're obviously going to put our operating system on this. And then after that, there's probably room for a game or two. You can always go up in size on these, but I would always recommend at least getting one that can fit your operating system.
Speaking of operating systems, you know what else you can fit your operating system in? A code worth 100 extra entries that Ivory just dropped over here on the green side. It's AFYS, AFYS-JSBD. So, I was going to say something bondage, and that's not right. So Jammer Sierra Delta Bravo. That is the final four of that. There we go. Uncut Chain asks, can a small PC like this be expensive or cheaper than your normal build? Good question.
So really it's all about what you put inside it. Now there is obviously dollars as far as the case goes, but I mean, you could put a very expensive build in a small case. We do see it all the time. So it really comes down to what's inside of it.
There we go. You've been cleaning out your garage, had to take a break from the Texas heat. Yeah, it's getting hot down there, like uncomfortably. So, nice. Now, I see you pulling that fan out of the back. This case comes with a fan already installed, correct?
Yep, this case comes with 3 fans already installed, 2 in the front and 1 in the back. Now I'm going to try to leave that fan just kind of hanging out in there while I install this motherboard so I can put it on the radiator and back end without undoing any of the wiring, but we'll just see when we get in there.
Let's see. Now, I know that our illustrious leader, the great George, has an even smaller version. He has this little, it's like a little, almost like a tube, single layer. Speaking of things that are small and form factor, let's talk about what you just popped into the back. How do you know if you're doing it right, and how do you know if it's all the way in?
Yeah, so you want to feel some satisfying snaps. You guys might have heard them over the mic there, and then you can just check the back of the case, make sure all these ridges are sticking out. You know, they're not going to come out very far, but you'll notice if they're recessed into the case. So you can kind of see how this bottom one is sticking out a little bit. We want all those to be that way. So.
It is supposed to get up to 107 here in Portland this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Sasco! Hello! What's going on? Four-worded statement. Who, me? What did I say? Uh-oh. Did I say something? JF? It's JS. JS. Jammer Sierra Delta Bravo. How will you know if it's a... Oh. That's not what I meant, but I see where you went with it. All right. Now we're getting a 120 in there. So is there... Since the case comes with, like, are we doing a push or just a push-pull or a pull, or how are we doing this?
So we're going to be pushing the air through the radiator. So I actually popped that fan out, and we're going to put this fan on the radiator outside of the case, and then we'll get back in it.
Getcha. Getcha. Like it. You're in Wichita Falls, so northern Texas? Yeah. It's going to get real wild over the next couple weeks. I know that the Portland Pride event isn't even happening until the middle of July. I'm just not looking forward to it. It's going to be so hot.
Yeah.
I like it in June. If it's in June, it's not necessarily terrible heat, but in Oregon, it is oftentimes a little rainy. However, July is going to just be dead heat, no rain, nothing. But
yeah, it's been pretty warm here too. We've been breaking the hundreds as well, so we're definitely in that summer now.
Yeah, Dirty Yankee. We will have a total of maybe 14 to 21 days per summer that breach 100. Although this summer looks like it's going to be a little bit worse, which is why I'm really glad we got our AC fixed.
Yeah.
What's up? Where is the code? The code is going to be given out over on the Kick side today. So kick.com/CLXgaming. Where you want to find that code, or you could just listen up, and I'll be able to tell you. So, can you keep the heat over there, please? Yes, for a favor. Although today is not going to be super bad. I think today is just going to get up in the 80s. I will say that, man, the people who redid our entire furnace and air conditioner and heat pump, it chills this house out like that.
Oh, that's great.
It is so amazing. But, all right, speaking of amazing things, let's talk about, now normally we talk about the fact that there's 9 different screws that you'd put in a motherboard for our normal motherboards, but this is a smaller. So how many screws do you need to look at for an MATX board like this?
So we've got 6 in this one, and unlike ATX, MATX will sometimes have the standoffs in different places. Typically it's this bottom one right here, but we have 6 total screws going in this.
Nice, there we go. Going through Western Territories when we left Alaska. Oh yeah. It's a gorgeous drive. Long drive though, especially if you're coming back down from Alaska to the States. That is a drive you can only make at certain times of the year, and it is 5-6 days long. It's you wouldn't think that it's that far, but it is a long drive. Long drive. You're in Vancouver Island, Parksville? Nice. It was 11 days from Alaska to New Mexico. Good gosh. Yeah, I think the when we did it, it was like 5 or 6 days, maybe to get to Seattle. But yeah. Oh yeah, it is and there's not always hotels and things where you need them to be. So, getting through Montana. Montana can be gorgeous in certain spots. Other places, it's very flat. So, all right, now we've got this in here. Now, unlike our other builds, this is actually like we have 0 gap in the back. So, unlike when we do our 3/4 or our 2/3 builds, how is this going to affect cable management?
So that does change the cable management quite a bit. Now typically you've got room in the bottom of the case where your hard drives go, like right here, where we put some cables, but we do have a hard drive going in this build, so it is going to be pretty tight, but we can make it work.
Nice. And notice that Paul is using the power tools today. Do you know why? Because we don't get to take that away from him.
Yep, this is mine.
Yeah.
No.
0 gaps in the back, that rhymed. Yes. Oh my goodness. Vincent Shackelford, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Thinking of switching to PC from PS5s. This is very informative. Yeah, there is a lot of things you can do with PCs when it comes to PC gaming. And as somebody who started out as a console gamer, I hear you. It is a little bit more of an investment up front, but the longevity of the device is extraordinary. This thing behind me is not going to have to replace for ages. Ages. Paul knows, he helped build it.
Oh yeah.
But also, yeah, it is a considerable. It's a little larger investment up front.
Yeah.
The difference is you can play. Yeah, go on.
I was just saying, yeah, PCs are the way to go for me. Like exactly what you said, DJ. They're a little bit more, they cost more up front, but once you have it, you've got it forever. And usually you can reuse a lot of those components, even when you go to upgrade, like your fans and stuff like that. You don't have to buy those again.
There we go. I was wondering why this thing was looking so large. Alrighty. Now we're getting this thing laid down. Look at how tiny that is. Now you can see the gap down there that's below his wrist by his watch, and that's going to be where our power supply will eventually go. And notice there's only 3 PCIe covers. So it'll be very interesting to see how we're going to put this this AMD Radeon. Oh wait, we're not putting a graphics card in here. It's coming with graphics.
No, we are putting a 6650 in this. Okay. Yep.
Got it. Sorry, I just lost my spot.
There we go. Good.
All right.
So right now we're getting our front panel plugged in. This is our power button, hard disk light, and power switch. All these tiny little cables. If I was Zach, I'd be doing my arts and crafts time right now and have my notepad out.
I hear you on that one. I hope Zach is having a wonderful time out in wherever they are. But freshly married and ready to go. All right. Now, we've got some other ports and access elements on the top of this build. Paul, what are those?
Yeah, so up top, we've obviously got our power button here, our LED light button. This is a little power light, make sure it's on. When it powers on, hard disk light. 2 USB 2.0s, headset mic, and a USB 3.0 up top.
Nice.
And that is what we're plugging in right now.
Now, Vortex asks, can he show the CPU cooler that the builds usually come with stock on the $600 build?
Ooh, I don't have one up. Well, let me see. I don't believe I have one up here. I wish I did. We used to, but I think I put it back. Essentially, it's just like a block of metal with some fins cut into it and a fan on top that takes the heat away. Pretty basic design from the ones that come with a lot of the CPUs, but there are a bunch of aftermarket ones that are real big and can cool really well. All right.
Nice.
So we got all of our case cables plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and get our power supply and video card out. That way we got those all sorted out. We'll start with the power supply.
All right, so for our power supply, and this, of course, provides power to the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, is a Game Dia 600-watt Kratos M1 Bronze RGB. Now, I'm going to assume, let's start with talking about what kind of a power supply this is.
Yes, this is a non-modular power supply. So you can see getting it out of the box there, all these cables are pre-soldered in. So here they are, and the opposite of this would be a modular power supply. So that would be, these cables usually come in a bag or a kit or something like that, and there's ports all on this side of the power supply that the cables can plug into.
Yes. Now, as far as the fact that we've got a smaller form factor on our build, do we generally see a smaller sized or smaller wattage power supply in these builds because there's just only so much you can pack into them?
Yeah, so most of the time on these smaller builds, it's going to be, more of an entry-level, middle-of-the-road build. However, there are very high-end ones. So, but with those entry-level and mid-tier builds, we obviously don't need, a 1,000-watt power supply or anything like that to power it. So this 600 watts is going to do just fine.
For a second, I thought you said... Never mind.
No.
I thought you said six beers, and I went, wait, what?
I might have, yeah. I might have been like, yeah, 6
You
beers.
can't power this with beer? Come on. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to need something that we can use for our graphics on this, and this is going to be a Power Color Radeon RX 6650 XT. It's an 8 gig. Now, I'm not super familiar with a lot of the Radeon products, so what is this comparable to, and what kind of things can this do?
Yeah, so this is a great card for 1080 gaming. Now there's some areas where you could probably do some 2K in it, depending on the game, but really solid card for 1080. You're going to get good frame rates across pretty much everything at 1080. So good middle of the road here, good entry level card. I like this thing, it's small.
And it's tiny. That is very tiny. Real quick, we do have a question coming in from Vincent Shackelford over on the Facebook side of things. It says, CLX Gaming sells pre-builts? What? Would you suggest a pre-build as a starter?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a lot of pre-builds ready to go. There are the RTS systems on our website, which stand for ready to ship. Those get the same treatment just like these do. They're all built here, they go through the same testing process. We just get them in stock. That way, if somebody likes that config, they can just order it and we can ship it out in a day or two.
Nice. I dig it. All right, now some things to keep in mind, because we're going to have to do some pretty creative cable management. How are you going to position this so that we can reduce the total look of the cables or appearance of the cables? Try and hide them as much as possible.
Yeah, so I'm going to start on this side of the case with these cables, and without this even installed, I'm going to run all these cables through this hole right here, and that's how we'll get started on the cable management.
Nice.
Doing this while the power supply is outside of the case is a really good tip if you're building one of these at home, because you can obviously see if we had our power supply inside, we'll have a whole ton of cables that we got to feed through that hole, and it can get pretty tight with that in there.
Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense. Makes some more sense. Jumpers, we're at extra exclamation giveaway if you want to find out more about the giveaway and how you can get involved with it. CLX Place is the place for oh yeah, definitely. We've got some pretty cool, like there's some really great pre-builds. And the pre-builds come in multiple, we'll talk about that in a second. I want to take you to the website, but there's a lot of different options. Your dog ran away for a week last year. So your dog went on vacation. Sometimes you just got to do what you need to do. Jay Han Bland. Yes. Got to be here for him. Steve. Hello. How's it going? Oh, hates fireworks? Oh, that's what you were referring to. Yeah. I turn on, I will have music on and loud action movies so that they are, but it still gets to them. And then it's just the dog barking constantly. So.
Yeah, that's always fun.
Yes. I'm not going to be using any HDDs. I'm drilling out the cage for them to improve airflow on my 350D. How much of a benefit would you see, do you think? Good question.
Yeah, if you're not going to see it, I mean, any obstruction that's there, anytime you can remove those is always great. Keep everything cooler. And someplace where you notice that too is if your GPU is like boosting up and you got better airflow, it can stay at that boosted speed for a lot longer.
Yeah. Jihan Balan wants to know about your tattoo design.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I'm typically American traditional and Japanese traditional, so I'm kind of all over the place with that. But yeah, I guess this is a pretty good shot of it. You can see the head over here. I did this one all in one session. It was like 6 hours. I got like super shaky at the end because they really start to hurt after a couple hours.
Yeah, I can imagine. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Cosmic Wolf. Hi, what's up? Yeah, we do. We're on all the time, but we drop the codes on the green side right now. Godspeed mentions, I'm on my year-old CLX pre-built right now. I ordered a set and upgraded the video, HDD, and memory.
Nice.
Yes. Your longest was 9 hours? Good Lord.
9 hours. That is a long time to sit. I've gotten close to 9, but I don't know if I've ever actually done 9. It was when we did all the stars and dots on my other arm, all this filler and stuff. I thought this would go really quick. All these little stars and dots, because it was all there. And so we just started at the wrist and went all the way up to the shoulder. And yeah, it took the entire day.
Now, we did have a question coming in from Naman. The giveaway is worldwide, right? Can be sent to Africa. Depends on where in Africa. There's a lot of... Africa's a very large continent.
It's pretty yeah.
There's a lot of different options there. The other thing that's very large is the new Ryzen code with 100 extra entries that's dropped over here. Thank you to Ivory on the green side. It's Ryzen RYZN-HA. H-A-A-H. Hotel. Alpha Hotel. Ha! Ryzen-HA.
It's a good one.
Sorry, I don't know. I'll stop saying that now. Okay. There it is. Uh-oh. And we have 6 days left in the giveaway, by the way, people. Which means I will definitely... Yep, and I have 1, 2, 3, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different codes. 2 more 200s, I have 2 more 100s, and I have 150 left. So I'm doing some of those today, at least one of them today on the show. We're gonna be doing some drops over on my end with Dying Light 2. I know, I was like, oh, for God's sake, stop playing that game. But all right, now what we're looking at here is our secondary storage drive. So we've got the 512 gig Patriot M.2 for the operating system. Then we're gonna have a 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda hard disk drive. I actually have one of these drives, and it is, knock on wood, always worked.
Yeah, Seagate puts out a really
jinxed
good
myself, didn't I?
quality product here. I haven't seen these really fail, so. Pretty easy to install this. It's got a tray that comes out of the case that's just got tabs that go into the screw holes, so they just pop in and hold it in place.
Nice. Nice. All right. Now, when you're putting this in here, because we don't have that gap or space in the back like we did before, where are we going to put that hard drive?
So this tray, there's a tray right here where my hand is right now, and that's where we're going to slide this thing in. We're going to try to keep all these cables out of the way when we do it.
Oh, got it.
Being pretty careful, and this is where I was talking about. You can use this to tuck your cables a lot if you don't have a hard drive. There's still some room in there when you get one of these in, but you know, it's significantly reduced. So sliding that in, I'm just making sure all my cables are out of the way, that way that doesn't grab it and pull on the cable or anything.
Nice. Nice. Okay, now we're up to the next cord. What's the next thing we're connecting?
All right, so I'm gonna run my SATA cable for that hard drive right now. Sometimes you can do this before, sometimes you can do it after. I'm gonna go ahead and do it now, that way I can manage it up with the rest of them.
Okay, Fernando Castillon asked a good question. Is there a new PC to PS5 Xbox hardware comparison where at a minimum we'd know what's equal or better than a console, where we may know what PCs you offer may be good or better in performance?
So I'm honest, that is a good question, and honestly I'm not too familiar with where a console lines up with a PC. Like, I don't know if a PS5 is equivalent to like a 4070 or what, so unfortunately I can't really give you a good answer there. I can just tell you that the PCs are superior.
Yes, they are. And this is coming from a guy who I used to work for Xbox, for God's sake, at Microsoft. I was a console kid forever until I got shamed into one day trying to just play Rainbow Six Siege on my streaming PC, and I fell so in love so quickly. It was ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It just was blatantly obvious.
That happened to me with like Dark Souls 3. I bought it on like Xbox One, I think it was. Well, the Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
Was playing it when I was playing it with some buddies who were on PC, and it looked so much better and was so much smoother on PC that I like bought it again for my PC and just haven't really gone back after that.
That was like me in Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that thing in so many different ways, it's not even funny. Zach's secret code from last week is still on the wall. Yes, but it's not in focus. Yeah.
I saw it there. I'm like, I'm gonna leave that there. I don't know if it still works, but we'll leave it there.
Tom Woodall mentions, I imagine they sit around a table thinking, what sentences can we make DJ try to come up with on these letters? And actually, that's a whole me thing. I'm sorry. Swear to God, I got enough sleep last night. Maybe I didn't. But yeah, no, I just kind of, I'm quick thinking on that one. What do you think about the current state of Rainbow Six Siege?
Man, I don't really play Siege, so that's all you, DJ.
Yeah, no, I think Siege is doing great. I have a blast playing it. But then again, I have a blast playing most games, because if it's not fun, why the hell am I playing it in the first place? Yeah, so I don't think it's in a sad state at all. I think that there are, there's obviously always things that every different fan has as an opinion about performance, movement mechanics, buffs or debuffs. But I love the game because of its complexity, strategically speaking, and the unique way that you can dominate in a game based not only on your operator choice for offense and defense, but it's also map dependent. Some maps are going to have a lot more soft walls, some maps aren't. So you've really got to understand the nature of the map, what that choreography is going to look like when you're trying to get and move in and out, where those, where the bombs are. You also have to consider whether or not you're going to get dumb and play hostage, because if you play hostage and accidentally kill the hostage, like I do, then your friends tell you you're not allowed to play hostage anymore. Yeah, and I'm really good at Rainbow Six Siege. I think I'm in the top. I think I've said this before. I'm in like the top 3% of players for the shortest lifespan.
I've seen you clutch out some stuff on stream.
I'll be honest, I have pulled off some amazing feats of just absurdity, just bizarrely. There's in no way should the play that I made have worked, and yet Panic Fire is your friend. That's hilarious. So wait, what? Can I get it? Yes. On the oh yeah, the codes are over here on the kick side there, bud. But I will say this: the biggest key to succeeding with Rainbow Six Siege is know who you're playing with, okay, and also play with a full stack, because that's a lot easier to have fun than if you've got some randies screaming because they're missing their anger management class and coming unglued because somebody accidentally shot near them. Whereas me, I play with friends so that when I accidentally shoot them in the head because they scared me coming around behind the corner, I'll hear footprints and spin around just in time to hear footsteps, and I'll spin around just in time. And as I'm pulling the trigger, I'm recognizing that's my teammate, and I'll just bean him right in the head.
Whoops!
Like I can't get a headshot for love or money on the other team, but man, I get lots of headshots on accident on my own team. It's because I'm terrible. I'm a terrible person.
Friendly fire can be a crazy thing.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Tuesday is a green. Yes. Andy Cave. I'm back. Just spent the last 15 minutes doing all the giveaway things, only to complete are the code entries that I missed the June one. We've actually had several come through. Jason Andrew on the Facebook side says, I would love to buy one of these as reality sets in. I am on SS disability, and that negates the possibility, but I do love watching these live streams. You do know that we do offer financing. So definitely check that out. But I'm glad you enjoy it. I love watching these. I learn so much constantly. Although now, if I were to try and build one, I'm going to be honest, I'd still screw up that. I would still screw up the cable management. That's a blatant obvious for me.
Cable management's the hard part, really, if you want it to look good. I mean, you can plug everything in and it can work, so if you don't care and you're doing it at home, by all means, no judgment here, but we like to make them look nice and clean.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. So, what are some of the big things to keep in mind when you are when you're tying down all your cable management in an MATX case?
Yeah. So for me, I start out kind of like every build. I want to break it down in a few different steps. So, do our case cables. That's what these are. You can see we've got them running down nice and neat, plugged into our motherboard. These power all of our USBs, power button, all the stuff on top of the case. And then we do fans, so you obviously got our fan hub here that all of our fans are plugged into, so we keep those nice and neat. And then after those are all done, that's when you saw me put the power supply in and start working on these power supply cables. So really just take your time with it. I'm not trying to go super fast here. I've got pretty much most of these managed, but I still got this for our video card, and now I'm working on our CPU power right here. So just gonna do a couple zip ties to clean it up and try to make a nice line.
There we go. Yeah, and so scary monster. The codes come out throughout the day in the chat on Kick on Tuesdays, on Twitch on Thursdays. Although will not be a stream this Thursday because of the 4th of July holiday weekend. You can also find those codes or new codes on my stream, and I'll be doing some Dying Light 2 today as we continue with drops and more fun things. So yeah. Shay, I know your name. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. Put on full screen. Who's on full screen? Oh, they really wanted to know what that code is. It's back there that Zach left up between the L and the X.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
I do. It's something you should say anytime you jump into any matchmaking game of League. Maybe even
I hate
Siege.
it here.
Yeah, try that one. That might be
letters.
another one.
Oh my gosh. I've been waiting for an INBF.
Okay, yeah.
As a code, so I can just say I need better friends.
Yeah. There you go.
What is this? CSI? Yes. Alpine Wanderer is like, hold on, that doesn't work like this. I get that they put that into Blade Runner, but the original, but still wasn't a copy. Wasn't a possible thing. Also, speaking of Blade Runner, okay, check this out. I didn't realize that James Edward Olmos was in the very first Blade Runner. And if you don't know who James Edward Olmos is, he played Captain Admiral Adama in the 2004 reboot of Battlestar Galactica. Huge actor, love him to death. Yeah. You know what I also love? I love codes that start with June. June. It may be July, but not for this. It is June-7 KGY. That is the number 7 Kilo Golf Yankee. Kilo Golf Yankee. It was the first Blade Runner was amazing. Especially Cosmic Wolf, when you think about the time that it was made, the technology that was available in that moment, and still, Ridley Scott did an incredible job with that. The special effects, the sets were just monstrous. So worth every penny. Kieran Brute over on the TikTok side says, I almost said TikTok says, can I get the PC? You could get a PC. All you have to do is order one. Yeah, it's an astounding piece of art. Ironically, I was rewatching, since I rebalanced all the speakers and got everything hooked up now with the new sound system upstairs. The 7.1 surround sound is nuts. It's and one of the best. They have a really good. There's a site that shows you, okay, what has really good surround sound components in its in its soundtrack, and one of them was Blade Runner 2049. So I put that on, and it is absolutely accurate. The other one that was really good was the new Total Recall, or not new, but the more recent Total Recall, which was really cool. One that I didn't really, that doesn't have anything to do with sound, but is really funny that I didn't realize was a thing. Did you guys know that there is a TED television show?
I didn't know.
It's on
like the
Peacock,
teddy bear
apparently.
one? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It is downright hilarious.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely funny. And yeah, I mean, there's now a possessed dump truck in there. I haven't finished the last episode because I already hate that. Hey, Paul, here's a question for you when you're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
How would you recommend somebody going cleaning a keyboard?
Cleaning a keyboard? So if you've got one that you can remove the keycaps from, it's more tedious to do it that way, but that's what I do when I do it. I pull all your keycaps off, and then it's really easy to wipe down. Yep, yeah, just pull on.
Or is there a tool?
There's sometimes a key puller, but yeah, you gotta you gotta remember that. So maybe just take a picture of it or something, or just know where your keys go. Get good.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of effort.
yeah. Yeah.
I have to find my
A picture's the way to go, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pull your keycaps off. Mine is disgusting. I clean it so often with like dog hair, pet hair, food, whatever.
So here's the thing that drives me nuts. Our dogs aren't even allowed downstairs, and I have filters on the vents down here, and I've still got dog hair all over the place. And they're Great Danes. It's not like they're giant, sharp, big, shaggy dogs. Scary Monster, for now, I entered 3 June codes. Are there any left? I mean, I still have, I still have 2 more June codes to give out. I've got 2 Ryzen codes. Those are worth 100 each. The Junes are worth 200. And I've got 1 more Aphis, which is worth 50. So those are going to be all going out, I believe, the rest of this week. Because we've got 6 days left. I think the last day is on Saturday. Last day's on Saturday.
I think that's right.
So I should have 1 for today, 1 for tomorrow, I'm one for Thursday. Oh, actually, no, we're not streaming on Thursday. I might still try and stream for a little bit on Thursday, but that's like a holiday and everybody goes places. I know there's barbecues and whatnot. But that means Friday we'll have 2 and Saturday we'll have 2. And I think I'm actually DJing this weekend at the club too. So
you got a busy week.
Man, I've had 6 June codes. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. By the way, guess what I got to do over the weekend? Unbeknownst to me, I got to take over the main dance floor at CC's.
Oh. Nice.
Oh, it was wicked, and it was actually really fun. Because you guys know that I don't do a lot of like American top 40, top 100. I've been mostly a UK EDM and house DJ, and so my chart lists are very different, especially considering the labels that I work with. So the music that I have is very, very, very different than the music that the guys who usually DJ there, which has been the same thing for a while now, and they are looking for a change, and I'm kind of jazzed about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Danger Zone. Danger Zone PCs and repairs. I love it. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So we are now getting the graphics card in. Once again, this is a tiny little graphics card. It's adorable, but I'm assuming we are not in need of any type of an anti-sag device for this little GPU, this Radeon RX 66650 XT.
Right, yeah, we will not need an anti-sag device. Single 8-pin to power this thing, which I'll get ran through here.
Nice. I do love the fact that you still have managed to hide all of these boards so well.
Done pretty good. This can be kind of hard to do, and I'm probably going to clean up a little bit more of it once we get everything plugged in. But yeah, it's actually, I'm pretty happy with how well it's come together. Sometimes they fight you.
Yeah. Little jerks.
Mm-hmm.
Big 7? Yes. Yep, the 6650 XT is it's a cute little one. Bonkers never watch the streams? Got it.
Alright, so we just got a little bit more cable management here, and then we'll be good to slap the panels on. So
nice. I will say that I do post all of my code list in my subscriber thread in my Discord. So if you're a sub, you'll get to see all of the codes that you may have to check and see if there's any codes you may have missed.
Nice.
Okay. And that all in there. This is such a cute little PC.
Mm-hmm.
But this PC is also going to be pretty darn capable.
Yeah, this is a pretty powerful PC right here. Like I said, if you're doing 1080 gaming, a PC like this is a great option that doesn't break the bank, and you still get good frame rates at 1080.
Right? Survivors over here like, so cute.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of, it's different having a PC that isn't super tall on the desk in here.
Right? But you're not having to like,
yeah.
Creating a, like,
right, yeah.
MB7s, you're
not getting strained by moving this thing.
Right? Yeah, the MV7s are, that is a giant beast of a PC case. Just the case alone. And it was really cool. If you guys go back and watch Thursday's show, we actually had a great build with, and honestly, it turned out so beautifully. But you would look up to the comparison. You've got 3 fans on this build. That build had 12.
Oh,
and
wow.
And I, of course, I can't really talk smack. I have 13 packed into this thing. More fans, more power. Well, here's an extra one. It's ONES 22F4 ONES-22 Foxtrot 4. And then Ivory's like, no, me, 2 extra, June, 2 DDT, 2 Delta Tango. That is a June-2 DDT. It's amazing. So now we've got another 200, another 1. The +1 POG. Or needing to see your chiropractor after the stream. Yes, that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Good Lord, I'm pale. Let's try that. That didn't help at all, but okay.
All right. So
can the next giveaway be a mini ITX?
back panels.
Listen, they don't tell me anything about new giveaways. The front logo, yeah, it does. It looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. Okay, look at that. I see why you left it on there now.
It's just fun. And it keeps my fingerprints off it while I'm building it. So, yeah, I just got to throw the back panel on here, make sure these cables are out of the way, and then we'll be good.
Sounds like a plan, man. Well, while you're doing that, let me take everybody through one of my favorite things, and that is to show them how they can get their hands on an amazing CLX PC just like this one here. Let's head over to clxgaming.com. At clxgaming.com, we try and make it as easy as possible for you to get the PC of your dreams and make sure that it's going to do exactly what you need it to do at all times. Whether you're looking for a mini ITX, an ITX, or even something as large as an ATX build, we've got everything you could think of, from sets, scarabs, Horuses, and RAWs. And you get to choose everything that goes inside of it. Whether you're looking for Intel or AMD, NVIDIA, Radeon, we've got it all. You want to do an open loop system versus an AIO, we can do that as well. It's all there. Whether you want to do M.2s and extra hard drives, or just put everything on an M.2, you make the choice. We get it right here, and it's all customizable. We can even get cable mod kits, which is what changes the cables off of the modular PSUs. Now, it's not the only thing that you can get while you're here. You can also choose to have us overclock your CPU, your GPU, or both. You can upgrade your thermal paste and then grab all sorts of accessories. And here's the best part. Our accessories area is bar none incredible. But first, let's talk about why that little button turned yellow up top. Yes, you're right. We have a conflict resolution system built in so that you can't make a mistake. A lot of people are like, well, what if I choose something that doesn't work together? Well, that's okay. We've got you handled. And the one we like to use is for our motherboard. So if we have a motherboard that's DDR5 and you happen to choose DDR4 memory, the system's going to lock up for a second and say like, hey, if you want to use this DDR5 motherboard, you're going to have to choose DDR5 RAM. But if you really want to use this RAM, then you're going to have to choose one of these DDR4 motherboards. Once you've solved it, the button goes back to green and you're ready to go. Now back over to the accessories area, you can find all sorts of fun things, including t-shirts, windbreakers, hoodies, hats, and that's not all. We've also got an entire array of everything you could possibly need for your streaming or gaming setup. If you're a content creator, we've got Beacon mix crates, Beacon mics, we've got headsets, controllers, mice, keyboards, monitors, speakers, I almost said toasters, but that's packaging. Routers and even chairs. I see the box and it looks like a toaster to me. I don't know why. But yes, so that for all of your future gaming needs, all you gotta do is head on over to clxgaming.com and see what we can do for you today. Okay.
Well, I got a fan cable unplugged when I was putting this panel on, DJ.
No problem.
So we're going to put that back in.
Tom Udall says, do the chairs come pre-assembled and stress tested? No. Oh, but you know what does come stress tested? Nicole's codes, and that is going to be ones, ONES dash winner, WNRR. I wasn't going to say the other word, but I didn't think it was appropriate. And someone has Cylons on the brain? Yes, Pig Radio, that is absolutely correct. What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a Cylon. Hayden Servage says, how do you know if your PC is going to be built live? Ooh, good question, Hayden. You don't really.
Yeah, it's something we just kind of work into the schedule as we can. We're looking at getting an option for if you wanted it built live, you might be able to like select it, but we're still working on that part.
Yes. All right. This all put back together here. You were waiting for that to go south. Listen, Linda. Thanks for the goodness. Yes. Could be. Like if you are really hard pressed and you really want to see it built on stream, just let customer service know when you order it. And you could also, I mean, it's not a guarantee, but at least if we have a heads up,
we will. But
yeah. James Olcott over on the red side. Yes, signore. All right, so now we're getting a different Different fan on?
Yeah, I think I might have cinched that cable on that one.
Just a bit too much.
Yeah. It's pretty tight back here on these small builds, so you got to be careful when you're doing it.
Totally understandable. DJ, I just watched a full preview of the new Transformer animation. Ooh. You did some voiceovers for I have in the past, mostly for beta stuff before they bring in get all of the lines recorded just for testing purposes. But yeah. Other than that, I can't really, ironically, there's not a whole lot I can talk about it. But I can definitely say, Autobots roll loud.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. You've missed at least one? All right, then we're going to just plug this little guy in there.
Yep, we'll just plug this in. Really like these fan controllers here. They make your life a lot easier when you're doing a fan. You don't got to like plug it into a motherboard header or anything like that. So,
okay. Now we get this last piece tied down. I had to sign an NDA before watching. Yes. Yes, I'm sure you did. The number of NDAs I've had to sign. Well, I mean, you didn't tell. You did just tell everybody on the internet, but you also didn't tell anybody what you were seeing. Yeah, you can't talk about what's in it. I don't even know if you're allowed to say it, but it doesn't matter because you signed a legal name, not a gamer name. So this is different. This comes with a little screw tab at the top and one at the bottom, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a couple screws on here, and then this actually is on hinges. So I like the panels that are on hinges. It swings open in case you got to get there. It's not a whole bunch of screws to do.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, we'll see if that fan works.
Get it plugged in and check it out, because this is going to be our PC for Wichita in Texas. I'm excited. This will look good.
All right, here we go.
Boom.
3, 2, 1.
Do it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that looks amazing.
Love this way this thing looks.
I dig it. Look at that.
Ooh.
I like it. That looks absolutely gorgeous. And it's got that RGB power supply. So for right now, this is a great example of when RGB power supplies are important, because it gives some great color right there. I dig it. So with that being said, let's go over one more time what's inside everything for our friend at Wichita in Texas. This is it's a CLX set Karnak that has an AMD Ryzen 7 5700X processor mounted on an ASRock A520M AC motherboard with 16 gigs of Patriot DDR4 3200 RAM. It also has a Power Color Radeon RX 6650 XT graphics card. Our main operating system will be on a 512 gig Patriot P300 M.2 NVMe, and of course we've got that 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda as well. The CPU is going to be cooled by our CLX Quench 120mm AIO, and of course we've got the 3 GameDias AOLES M2 120mm fans and the GameDias 600 watt Kratos M1 bronze 80 plus bronze in RGB. So absolutely incredible. Now, normally we do this show in 2 parts, but not today because Zach is on his honeymoon. So we are in just a few. We're going to go ahead and end the show, and everybody's going to come over to my channel where I'm going to be starting giving away codes. It'll be a lot of fun. But first, this show happens every Tuesday and Thursday starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. That is 2 Eastern, although this Thursday we're not because of the 4th of July. You can always find codes. Well, when we're doing a giveaway, you can find codes on Tuesdays on Kick. That's kick.com/CLXgaming. On Thursdays at Twitch, that's twitch.tv/CLXgamingtv. You could also possibly find codes along with the latest and greatest of everything going on with CLX Gaming on our socials. That's YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, and that's all CLX Gaming. You could also possibly find some in our Discord, along with a bunch of like-minded PC enthusiasts and fellow gamers, and that is discord.gg/CLX Gaming. The other place you can find them is on my streams for DJ Blue PDX, which we're going to be doing today, playing a little zombie-ish. We're going to be catching up. I got drops for Dying Light 2. And with that said, we wish you all a wonderful, safe holiday, and on behalf of Kyle and Jason in production, Paul and Zach, who's on vacation, I'm DJ Blue PDX. Don't go away. I'll be seeing you in just a few minutes on my channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.